What is going on, everybody? Welcome to At Least We Tried Gaming, All Things Gaming. I will be your host today, Gravity Mark II. I have my fellow ALWT cast members with me today. Today, we obviously have the one, the only, Malachi 36. How are you doing today, sir?
Dude, I have a Subway story to tell you.
Another one?
Yeah, I got a Subway story to tell you after you do your introductions. But other than that, I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic, guys.
It's good to hear. It's good to hear, man. Always nice to know. And then over here, we have our other fellow here. We have Nine Ball Corner Pocket. How's it going, sir? How are you doing today?
Okay. Trying to figure out how this abomination of a controller is going to work.
It's not that bad.
Controller.
PlayStation 4 controller.
Seriously, look at this. Xbox. Look at the difference. It's
that's a PlayStation 4 controller that you have there, Nine Ball?
That's what I ordered, a PlayStation 4 controller. It says it has, I'm reading the instructions, it's saying it has a PlayStation 4 mode.
What is that third party? That has to be third party.
It says wireless gaming. It says it
can
do whatever it wants.
I was about to say, that literally looks like it is a Xbox controller. There's no way.
No, it says it can do whatever it wants. Let me read the instructions. It does whatever it wants. And it
seriously,
I'm gonna have this a shot afterwards.
what? Like, let us know if that actually works. I'm curious, like whether it works. Like, is it just like PS4, or like can it go up to PC as well?
I think you can play on PC, get PS4, Xbox. I don't even know where to begin with this thing. I got it on and off, but I'll play with it later.
How are you doing, Gravity?
You know what? I am doing pretty good. I am just a little tired. I think it's the weather. I think it's just the grogs. You know, I just gotta bust out one of my favorite mugs.
Okay.
One of my favorite. I mean, it changes colors. Like when the mug is warm. So like I get like little lightsabers that pop up.
Oh yeah, I used to have a Dragon Ball Z one like that, and it was for Vegeta. The handle broke, but I still got the base of it.
Oh, I wanted the Goku one where he goes Kaioken.
Yeah.
That's the one I wanted. But gentlemen, I just wanted to kick this off with this first story here, because this one you brought to my attention just yesterday, Malachi, and I wanted to dive into this a little bit because the timing for this is so weird.
Question: can I tell you my Subway story real quick?
Yes. First, you know what? Forget what I was about to say. Tell me about the Subway story first.
So, you guys know me. You guys know I love food, all that good stuff. The other day I was in Dayton, just doing my little thing. You know what I mean? Dancing my heart content. I was on my break, right? I went to Subway, and I always get myself a foot-long chicken bacon ranch, Italian herbs and cheese. It used to be Monterey Trader, but now they don't do that anymore for whatever reason.
God, you're making me hungry.
Yeah, hey, I'm hungry right now. But like what ended up happening is I normally get chicken bacon ranch on Italian herbs and cheese. Get myself some provolone cheese on there, American cheese. I'll go ahead and throw some oregano and some buffalo and some ranch. Put some jalapenos on the side, a little bit of salt and pepper, and some lettuce and all that good stuff, right? That's normally what I do. So, I saw the lady. She went ahead and was doing her thing. She was doing really, really slow. She put it inside the oven, right? I let it go ahead and heat up. And I know some Subways, they go ahead and they'll heat up the part of it first, and then they'll heat up the chicken or meat or whatever it is later, right? So I was just like, all right, cool. So she went ahead and put it inside the oven. All that good stuff. Then she went ahead and started putting all my fixings on there. Everything that makes it delicious. All right. I went ahead and I paid for my chips. Ooh, I still got my chips out there too, by the way. I got to go get that. But anyway, I paid for my chips and I paid for my my Gatorade, right? Go inside the truck. I went ahead and took it out, and I felt kind of light. So I was like, all right, you know what? It is what it is. I bit into it. It tasted really good. But I realized that she forgot the biggest thing that makes that sandwich amazing. And mind you, I'm a black person. She didn't put the chicken on the sub for a chicken bacon ranch sandwich.
They just had a bacon.
I just had a bacon sandwich. That's what I had. You know what I mean? So yeah, so there. That's kind of my Subway story on that one. I was disappointed, but
I love you, man. You know what? That was like the biggest dad story you could have told. Like just all of that build up, like because you know what? First and foremost, like how are you gonna like forget like an ingredient's that important?
Mm-hmm.
But I've got to say, like the build up to that was just so she just missed the chicken.
Yeah,
like, it's not like she
just missed the chicken.
Like burned it. She didn't like forget it.
Nope.
Like she didn't like forget something. Like it's not like she like left a Band-Aid or anything in there. It's just like she forgot my chicken.
Yeah, she forgot. But again, like the thing that made this whole thing like how did I miss that? Is because that's how long it took her to get my food ready. Like, because again, now at the beginning of the story, I did say that they'll go ahead and put the stuff on there. They'll go and melt the cheese, and sometimes they'll put the chicken in, or the meat, or the steak, whatever it is, and then they'll put it on afterwards. She took so long doing that portion of it that I completely forgot that this thing has no meat on it outside of the bacon. So I pretty much had it was something else. So now, granted, God bless her, she did try her best. It's just one of those like, dang, you forgot the chicken, girl. You forgot the chicken.
You know what? Everyone has those days.
They did.
We've all had those days where we've forgotten the chicken.
I felt like that.
But yeah, that was my thing. Go ahead and take the show. I just had to get that out there. Don't forget them chickens.
Oh my gosh. So, anyway, as I was saying, you brought this to my attention just last night, and it was the PlayStation and Discord the collab. I can't read at all, but you were just telling me about this because I thought, after the whole Microsoft and Discord thing, I thought we were done. I thought the conversations was going to be done. I didn't think we were going to hear anything of it. And then all of a sudden, like just as you're about to hang up last night, you're like, oh, by the way, PlayStation and Discord might be doing something together. So we have an article from Jerry Winslow from GameSpot. Quote, Sony and Discord are getting into business together. Sony has announced a new partnership and investment in the popular messaging and communication app, which will see Discord connect with our social and gaming experience on PlayStation Network. The integration between Discord and PSN is expected to happen in early 2022, though exact details on what this will consist of have yet to be announced. Sony's president Jim Ryan said in a blog post, there are teams already, quote, hard at work bringing Discord to the PlayStation Network. Together our teams are already hard at work connecting Discord with our social and gaming experience on PlayStation Network, he said. Our goal is to bring the Discord and PlayStation experiences closer together on console and mobile starting early next year, allowing friends, groups, and communities to hang out, have fun, and communicate more easily while playing together. So, gotta say this, the timing for this is very, very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Malachi, you and I already kind of talked about this last night. I want to throw this to Nineball first, because I'm really curious to hear what you have to say about this. What do you think is going on with this?
It's probably part of their answer to Game Pass. Pretty much Discord already had a gaming service known as Discord Nitro, which a lot of people didn't really utilize.
I didn't even know it was a thing.
Nobody knows. Nobody really used Nitro. I mean, look at the screen. It's right, like friends, and then it says Nitro.
Discord's like, they said it. Someone said it. They know. They're gonna use it.
I feel like they're gonna need help, and I feel like it's the perfect way to go with it. I mean, merging with Discord, it makes sense now why they turned down Microsoft. They've probably been working on this for a while now. Maybe Microsoft never heard or anything about it, and when they threw the money at them, they more or less refused. I feel more like Discord wants to remain, I would say, independent to them.
Yeah.
This is more of a partnership, kind of like, I would say, Activision Blizzard, what they did, where there's still two independent companies but working together towards something. it's a good thing. I mean, a good competition going over Game Pass. If I'm thinking what I'm thinking is because you could take Nitro, which again not many people heard about, and get it through, put it in Sony. Sony can merge it with PlayStation Now. Maybe you can put it all throughout, and now you've got a platform to where you can spread it all throughout. The biggest problem with Sony so far is the problem Microsoft's been dealing with, but they've gotten past it, and I would say is getting Sony on PC. PlayStation's been releasing games on PC. I would say, I think they released what did they release?
Didn't they just release
Horizon
one? Yeah.
I heard that was Persona 5 Strikers.
Persona 5 itself came to PC. At the PC event. I mean, me and Mildew actually covered it at the beginning or at the end of last year.
Yeah. They've been trying to break into it, and I feel like it's going to be a good way for them to get going on that and get broken into and maybe finally get the competition. Now we just need to see what Nintendo does.
You know Nintendo's just going to be in the corner just doing their own thing. They're just be like, oh, don't mind us. We have motion controllers. No, don't worry about it. We got it. We're good. Other Zelda.
I do want to throw out there a few things. One, shout out to S-Killed, Gravity Mark, 9 Ball, and Malachi Dame. Y'all cute. Appreciate you, man. He also says he hasn't tried Subway. So I know you in Denmark. So if you don't have a Subway out there, I mean, you're not really missing. You're not really missing much.
Not missing out.
But it is kind of nice to have every once in a while. We also have to give a shout out to our boy Ohio Hootie Hoo
What's going on?
in the chat. There you go.
We know he's tried Subway.
Yeah. I will say, to your point there, Nineball, I don't think this is the answer to Game Pass. I honestly don't think this is anything until we see what that's going to look like at the beginning. I think one of the reasons why Discord said no to Microsoft is because Microsoft wanted to completely own them, as you stated. I think it's a good thing that they want to stay independent so they could do partnerships that way. So with that being said, I know that and I don't think it was actually inside the document, but PlayStation has a minor stake in Discord now, and so they're going to have a small team that's going to be working to kind of help develop their communication portions of it for PlayStation 4, PS5. I don't think, and with that being said, that does mean that they'll be able to go ahead and still partner with Microsoft as well and Nintendo. So that's all stuff that can still come to the table with other partners.
Yeah,
So
they don't really own Discord. They just,
Yeah. So with that being said, I don't think that this is going to be. I don't think this is the answer to the Game Pass. I think we're going to get that in roughly a month, around the time period where E3 would start. I know that PlayStation's not doing anything with E3 right now, and I don't think Nintendo's doing anything for that either. Anybody want a peanut? Just comment in there, says not until 2022. Unfortunately, yeah, I agree. So we probably are still. This is all just speculation right now. We're not going to really know anything until 2022 of what that is officially going to look like and how this is going to be utilized. But I like your idea for Nitro, because like you said, no one knows about Nitro. I didn't know about Nitro.
Yeah, I know.
Outside of Crash Bandicoot, I have no idea what Nitro is.
Told you, man. 2022 is gonna be lit.
There you go. That anime segment in there. Yeah.
Forget 2021. 2021 is just a recovery year. 2022 is gonna be where it's at.
Every day we lit. Yes. All day.
This news is really interesting because I am curious as to whether or not this was something that they weren't going to announce right away. Maybe it was going to be something that they were going to announce maybe like closer to the fall, winter of this year. So that way they could have more of a, hey, surprise, we're having this integration into PlayStation Network, and it's going to be in early 2022. So that way you can have like that excitement a little bit closer to the date. But I'm wondering if this news with Microsoft has kind of put them in a position where they're like, hey, no, we need to put this out there now. That way people know kind of what the deal is.
It could be. And that all comes down to Sony's PR. I think that's kind of a smart move to be like, hey, like the deal with Microsoft fell through, and then now like people might be like, all right, well that Microsoft still hasn't given up yet. Now Sony comes out like, hey, we're working with them. Then that might raise questions like, oh, maybe that deal actually is done and there's doubts there, or whatever. I don't know. But Nitro Nitro. Anybody want a peanut says Nitro is way too expensive for what breaks down to more emotes. So there you have it.
How much is Nitro? If you don't mind me asking.
I never really looked at it. Yeah,
I've never heard of Nitro up until this point. Like that's just one of those niches where I'm just like, oh, like really? Like another service that like I just haven't heard about?
Yeah, I mean that has been around. Yeah, it has been around for a minute. I heard about it once before, completely forgot about it, and until Nineball just brought it up again, I completely forgot that even was a thing. Eskill does say, well, I have exams tomorrow again, so see you. Much love, cuties. Much love, man. Good luck on your exams. Hope you have a fantastic, I'm assuming night. I think it's like 11 o'clock at where you're at, so rest up. Yeah, rest up. Yeah. Yes.
And get ready for them exams.
Yeah.
Pulling an all-nighter before your exams is not fun.
Bars.
Yeah.
You don't do well. You never do well. Oh, my goodness.
This is for Nitro. It's $10 per month or $100 per year.
$10 per month, $100 per. How does that work? Because it's 12 months in a year.
Yeah, so you get like a discount if you like pay them all up at front.
60% off.
Okay, all right. I mean, I guess that works.
But like to your point, Malachi, you did mention that instead of like trying to buy them outright, it sounds like Sony's really taking more of a just kind of a shareholder approach to this.
Yeah.
So that way they can say, hey, we're not trying to own you. We're not trying to acquire you. We're not trying to do anything. We just want to give you some money. And in exchange, just, like have our two communication platforms be able to communicate between each other.
Yeah.
It's like, at that point, like that, all that is just good news. That's just more money in Discord's pocket, which, I believe we mentioned this on a previous podcast, if I'm not mistaken, but sounds like they're not even profitable at this point.
Yeah,
or at the very least, they're not bringing enough money compared to their competitors.
Yeah. That's because I was about to say, I know that they're making money. They're definitely making money, and they are profitable. Sure. But the way that term comes down to is they're not profitable compared to X, Y, and Z, whatever that was before that you were finding out before.
It's exciting though. It is kind of exciting to see kind of, one company take a certain approach and get flat out rejected. And then you already see that again, like kind of what Nineball said, this was probably going on like way before we even heard about this.
Yeah.
This has probably been in the talks for the past probably year or so. So at this point, it's not really too surprising, but it's interesting to see that these companies are, taking two different approaches. And I'm kind of interested to see how we might see those types of approaches in the future. Because as we know, Microsoft already, acquired, was it Bethesda?
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see if any sort of like future deals with other maybe developers or other companies, instead of just going full acquisition, maybe seeing if they might do some sort of partnership or like shareholding in the future.
I find it interesting how they're doing it, though. I was kind of worried when Microsoft Bethesda did that, because I was scared that Sony was going to try to do that with Square Enix and just try to straight up buy them. It would have been dumb for them to do that, because I was thinking in my brain, if they go like the same like battle with Microsoft using money, Sony's going to almost certainly lose. There's no way they're going to beat Microsoft on that term. So I was wondering how they was going to do it, get around it without trying to, straight up throw cash at people. And you see, they found a way of doing it.
Cash money, hundreds, 50.
I mean, though, if they did end up acquiring Square Enix, that could lead to potential future Kingdom Hearts games of Sora going to God of War, going to Horizon, going to Crash, going to see Ratchet and Clank.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Kingdom Hearts? Now it's been a while, but isn't Kingdom Hearts a console exclusive, or is it on Xbox?
It is on Xbox.
Wow,
so,
I didn't
even
I
like
realized
right
that.
It's also on. I believe it's on PC as well.
ALWT Live, I wouldn't be surprised about that, but ALWT Live inside the chat says "stop" in all caps.
You know what? I get it. I don't want to be that kind of Kingdom Hearts fan. I don't want to be the guy who's just like, oh my gosh, and then there's Mario, and then there's Goku, and when we're gonna have him with Sephiroth, and it's the Sephiroth's already in there. Shoot.
He said we don't need Sora going anywhere else.
No, we don't need it. You know what? After this most recent game, like it
I would
just
see Thor in God of War.
oh, picture. You know what? No, picture all of like the song and dance routines that he could have with Kratos. Bearded Kratos. those time reaction song and dance routines.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Moving on. Moving on from that, Konami. I have another article from Jason Finelli from GameSpot. Quote: Konami has claimed the mantle of quote first game publisher to pull out of E3 2021, formally announcing its decision on Twitter. The tweet explains that Konami originally announced to be an E3 2021 attendee early April, quote, will not be ready to present at E3 this year, end quote. The statement also tells Konami fans, we are in deep development on a number of key projects, so please stay tuned for some updates in the upcoming months. In a statement to GameSpot, the ESA representative said the following. We support our partner Konami's decision to not participate in E3 this year and are excited to see what they'll be announcing in the future when they're ready to do so. We can't wait to see their return to E3 2022, but in the meantime, we look forward to sharing all of the highly anticipated reveals, programming, and so much more at this year's E3, end quote. E3 2021 has been confirmed as an all-digital event to be held June 12th through June 15th. Companies that have signed on to the event include Xbox, Nintendo, Capcom, Ubisoft, Take-Two Interactive, Warner Brothers Games, and Koch Media. Then we have another part over here, Konami's tweet, which is, quote, due to timing, we will not be ready to present at E3 this year. We want to reassure our fans that we are in deep development on a number of key projects, so please stay tuned for some updates in the coming months. While we are not participating this year, we have great respect for the ESA and know that 2021 will be a great success. We will continue to support the ESA and wish all the best to all participants in this year's show.
I got a few comments out here.
One,
still talk about
very
story.
long-winded.
One, talk about story number one still. LSP Live says, you are blasphemous, sir. and then
I want to see Thor in God of War.
And then anybody.
I just want to see it. I just want the time trial.
Anybody want a peanut says, give more Castlevania. So there you go. But go ahead there.
Anyway, that was very long-winded. I apologize for how long-winded that was, but there is a lot to unpack there, and I wanted to throw this to you first, Malachi.
Yeah.
What do you think? First of all, what was the last game that Konami worked on? It has been so long since I've really seen anything from them.
Yeah.
And at this point, because for them to pull out of E3 because they're very deep in development on something, I'm kind of curious. I'm just like, wait, what was the last title that I saw from Konami?
So here's the thing. Konami has been working, Konami has had, you saw inside the chat there, not naming names, but Aces, update your Smite patches. Just throwing it out there. But anyway, as far as Konami goes, Konami actually has been releasing games, but they've all been like no-name games, if you will. I know that they do own a few IPs now that they got from previous studios. Like, I think one of the games that they do own underneath their umbrella, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think one of them is Bloody Roar. I think Bloody Roar is owned by Konami now.
Bringing up Konami's game list now.
All right. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're underneath there. I know there's actually like a few games that I announced like last year that I would like to see done and remastered or remade or brought back or another sequel or whatever, and almost all of them were under Konami now. So So if they decide to bring back Bloody Roar, I would not hate that at all. Whereas I don't think it's what was the one game, Kingdoms of Amalur? Who's underneath that now? That's THQ, right?
THQ Nordic.
Okay, yeah. So scratch that. That's not that.
Oh, wait a second. They were. Oh, wait a second. Konami was for Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do all the Yu-Gi-Ohs at Konami.
Oh, that's right. I was gonna say I have that.
ALWT Live on there says Castlevania. They did that Metal Gear Survive. Yeah, so
it's been so long since I paid attention to Konami. Like, I swear.
Yeah.
It's always a name that's like very prevalent, like in my mind, where I'm like, oh yeah, like Konami. Like they've made plenty of games that I've played.
Why did like when I Survive?
Is it Metal Gear Survive?
It's just something that, like, anytime I try to recall like which games that they've developed, I'm just like, it's just so hard for me to try to recall those.
Bye.
Yeah. He says Konami's behind Metal Gear, so I get it. I just don't know. Like, I've been seeing people have their little predictions and all that good stuff. But yeah, that was actually what I was about to say about Silent Hill. They want to see another Silent Hill be brought back, and that's what they were hoping, that this was going to happen at this E3, was going to be Silent Hill. That rumor, I'm at the point where I'll just believe it when I see it. I don't think that's actually ever going to happen. How long has that been teased now for? Like, forever. I think, wasn't PT supposed to be that?
That was before the falling out between him and Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, so
that was actually Silent Hills, and then because they showed at the end it said Silent Hill.
Yeah.
And then they had that big falling out, and then after Metal Gear Phantom Pain, I believe.
Yeah, because they showed Norman Reedus at the end of it, and then and that's when they showed that it was like Silent Hill was going to be with Norman Reedus, whatever. ALWT Live says Silent Hill is dead. Kojima was behind Silent Hill and Metal Gear. Yeah, so yeah. I just thought that was just ultimately like, maybe if there's going to be a time for any of this, that would have been the time to do it. But now that they're not going to be at E3, I'm convinced that Silent Hill is just not going to happen.
Hoping it's something new. I'm really hoping it's something new.
I hope. I personally would not mind it if it's one of the IPs that they currently own now that I want to see done. Like, again, Bloody Roar. I can't remember if the bouncer is underneath them now, or if the bouncer is still with Square. I think it's still underneath Square. ALWT Live says it's going to be crap Silent Hill otherwise. We'll see.
It could be like Silent Hill Survive.
But yeah. What are your thoughts about it there, Gravity?
No. I mean, you already know me. Like, when it comes to like developers and like kind of like being really subtle about like games that they're about to announce, I want it to be something new. Now, we already know what happened with this most recent PlayStation event. I wanted those two indie titles that they referenced to be something new. I really wanted them to just be new titles, but your predictions were very, very much more on point there, Malachi. What was it? Subnautica coming to the PS4 and PS5. And,
my predictions was that it was going to be Ken Bridge of Spirits and Sona some more Sifu. That didn't come to fruition. I was disappointed. I probably don't have a right to be disappointed, but I definitely was disappointed. And it was Subnautica, like you stated, it was Subnautica. And they showed that there's a PS5 version and Among Us, and that's coming to the PlayStation as well. And
at this point, like,
well, Konami has Frogger.
I mean, hey. The platformers, some platformers are making a comeback because that's kind of what's it called?
Make a mobile app.
Yeah.
Mobile game. Konami, do it. I would play Frogger on my phone all freaking day. Just make like an endless Frogger hop game. See how far you can go. Easy game. I would play it.
But yeah, I was about to say, I think, I mean, ultimately, again, going back to the state of play that they did show, just because I was hyping my own self up, I was disappointed by the indies that they shown. I was excited for something new. It's cool that it's coming to that. I'm excited for that audience. It's just not for me. But seeing some extensive gameplay of Ratchet and Clank, that was pretty awesome. That was pretty cool. And that actually even entices me even more to be like, all right, I might want to go ahead and dive into this down the road. But yeah, but as far as coming back to where we're currently at, like you said, you would rather see Konami come out with something new. Yeah,
I want to see something new. I and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just
real quick. Konami has Pro Evolution Soccer. It does not hold a candle to FIFA. Does not hold a candle to FIFA.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now. Yep, there.
They do, but it does not hold a candle to FIFA. The only reason why people like Pro Evolution Soccer is because, one, you can dive. You can purposely dive, so that way you can try to get a foul called. And then two, there's some countries that they have that's just not on FIFA. So, like, if I went ahead and looked, if I have Pro Evolution Soccer, I could probably go ahead and you was talking title they have, bro. Oh yeah. Obviously they have those, and they have so many more other games too as well. Konami's not like under a rock. It's just, what are we expecting for this year for what they were going to show at E3 that now is not going to happen?
Silent Hill, Metal Gear.
Yeah, that's kind of the things that I would have loved them to see. Again, Bloody Roar. I would love them to have Bloody Roar come out, but he says Konami is under a rock. They're still making games. But
they're making pachinko machines. You know how many memes I've seen about them and pachinko?
I forgot they do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I forgot. You know, like I really forgot that they're just like, yeah, we're just doing pachinko now. It's like we got Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. We have we have PES Soccer, and then we have Chinko. Like, I am curious though. Like, you were right in saying that my prediction was wrong in terms of them not wanting to, like, you know, have anything that might outshine Ratchet and Clank.
Mm-hmm.
At least for this one, I want to see something new. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's, you know, this new console generation fever, but like, I'm hungry for some new titles.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like, you guys remember, like, what, like 10 years ago, like during the early 2010s, we were just seeing nothing but like sequels, like old 80s movies and 90s movies, and they're just like, oh, like, we're just gonna do a sequel. Mm-hmm. We're just gonna do another sequel. How about another sequel? Like, I don't care anymore. I would love to see like a new Silent Hill game. I would love to see maybe like a new Contra game. Like, I'd love to see, like, you know, like something new from them. But like, at the same time,
you're not going to see a new IP from them.
Like, I want to see it. Like, I want it. Like, I want them to just blow people away and just say, and not like necessarily like lean on like what's always worked. Like, I want to see a little risk. I want people to get risky. Be like, by the way, here's something really cool we've been working on. Just throw that passion out there, throw that work out there. I want to see it. Doesn't mean I'm going to buy it. But I want to see the ambition. It's a new console generation, and I want to see some ambition. If we don't see any ambition this year, we'll probably see some ambition next year. And again, 2022 is just going to be lit.
What about you there, Nabal?
Illis. Contra Roll Corpse. What are you bringing these up? Don't bring up. We don't talk about that game either. It never happened.
Well, yeah. What do you? Go ahead.
A lot of games. I mean, I'm looking at it. I think they even got like Shaman King.
They have a Shaman King game.
Yeah, Masters of Spirit.
Hey, I would be down for that. Just don't screw it up.
It's Konami. They're gonna screw it up.
What they're gonna do? They're gonna just make most of it, and then right before it gets to the end, they're just gonna stop for like 8 years.
Except playing Contra again.
Except they don't have an excuse to stop there.
Did you say
the author actually did?
Gravity? Did you say play a Contra game?
No, Ellis, I was reading the chat.
Yeah, well, he said Gravity said play a Contra game. I don't remember you saying that.
I mentioned like, well, I kind of like used Contra as kind of one of their titles, as like, you know, like just as an example of them not necessarily going back to the franchises that they have.
Okay.
Like, obviously, like, you want to try to get as much out of your, you know, like, if you have all these IPs, get your money's worth out of those IPs. Like, get everything you can. But at least, like, for me, like, how I feel right now, like, I just don't want to see another thing from another series I already know. Like, it's like, oh, because people just tend to get overhyped about it. Like when they're like, oh my gosh, this is a name I remember. I remember liking that game. This is going to be a really great game. It's going to be better than the last game. It's going to be super amazing. And then people's expectations end up going like way up here, and the game's somewhere in the middle. Like, it might be a really good game, but it might not have like been up to people's standards, and then people are just going to get real upset about it. Like, I'd rather them, like try something new, and then people say, I don't like this. It's like, well, you know what? Like, at least they gave it a shot. At least they tried something new. Like, I just, I am excited for God of War Ragnarok. I'm excited for Forbidden West. So, like, there are titles that, like, I am excited for as, like, follow-up titles. That's because those are stories that have already been started and just haven't been finished yet. Like, I don't know of any other, like, stories that's from games that Konami owns that, like, where the story isn't really done. I'm not really interested in another Metal Gear game. Like, I feel like at this point it's fine.
See which one of them has Clock Tower.
Quick side note: Ohio inside the chat says Jade Empire. That is BioWare, but
That's BioWare.
But I get what you're saying. That'd be, I mean, if BioWare's not doing anything with it, Konami, go ahead and buy it and go ahead and he said nope, don't touch it.
No,
but yeah,
no.
at least it'll be something.
Burn the franchise if you have to. Do what you gotta do. Just save the first one.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you if they go out of their way to make another follow-up game, you're gonna have those people who are like gonna be like, oh, like, really awesome, and then you're also gonna have those people who are like, no, like, I don't like, the first one was perfectly fine. Like, don't mess it up with this new 3D modeling. Don't do that.
LSB Live says people don't want to lose money, so why try something super new if you already have you already messed up your own stuff? So yeah. So
that is a good point.
Yeah, but I mean, and here's the thing though: is I'm on both sides of it. Yes, you don't want to try to mess up. Like, you don't, if you can't get it right, why try something new? But at the same time, that's the reason to try something new. Because if you're not being successful doing the same stuff, switch it up. You know what I mean? Like, and indies kind of flourish in that portion. They're able to be weird and odd and do all sorts of stuff. They're not held to certain standards and everything. He says Konami screwed up so much. Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying in general. Yeah, I'm just saying in general that, like, if you've been messing up because you're doing all this stuff and it's the same pattern or whatever like that, then yeah, you might have to switch it up.
It's not the same pattern. Let's put it like this: they have the worst microtransaction in any game. In Metal Gear Survive, you had to pay, what was it, $5 or $10 for a save spot.
That's terrible. What? That is terrible, man. That is...
To make a new character, you had to buy it. You had to buy a spot.
That is terrible.
I'd like to think that the employee who suggested that had a meeting afterwards. I'd like to hope that they were just like, hey, Scott. Yeah, Scott, can you just come down to the office real quick? Oh, it'll be really quick. Come on down. Let's just have a talk really quick. $10 for a save point, Scott? Really? No one's saving their games, Scott. Everyone's just starting new games all the time. We're not having any repeat players. They're just all new players. They're not saving their games, Scott. $10.
Wow. Ohio's in the chat says I haven't played a Konami game for like 2 consoles. I don't blame you. Ultimately,
exactly.
Like, again, just to make sure we're clear, I am not giving them a pass on any of this. I was just saying in general what we're looking forward to this year. If Konami has Bloody Roar, I want to see it. If it's terrible, then all right, so be it. That sucks. But right now, it's under them, if I'm not mistaken. Konami killed Castlevania, Silent Hill, and Metal Gear. That's what LSB Live says inside the chat. So, yeah. So, I mean, if they're not selling, though, then, like, what else can you do? Just maybe keep going until you get a hit. I don't know. But Ohio, you're definitely going to be...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You're gonna be sinking at this rate if they keep going.
Yeah, they're got to sell or something or get a new CEO or whatever. But I know Ohio's gonna like. He says, "Let it die." I know Ohio's gonna like this next story though that you have on the list here for you from Gravity.
Actually, you know, I was actually wanting to see if you wanted to do this because you just picked up this game within the past like month or so, right?
Actually, I got it. I actually got it probably at like the month after it came out. So I've had it for a while.
Oh.
I just haven't dove too heavy on it. I didn't know it has PS5 capabilities until I started playing it, and I was like, "Oh, that feels nice." So this is Watch Dogs Legion update. So there we go, right here. It's going to be Stephen T. Wright from GameSpot says, Watch Dogs Legion's first major update drops today, and it brings some new content to the game. For Season Pass owners, the patch will introduce a new playable hero named Mina Sidhu, a former test subject who uses the powers of the mind to control and manipulate her enemies. Season Pass owners can also play a new Dead Sex Stories mission that focus on a minister who is selling London's antiques, iniquities to the highest bidder. For those who don't own the Season Pass, there's still plenty of free content to enjoy, including 2 new operatives and enhanced operative customization. The online mode also has added 3 new co-op missions, 5 new solo assignments, and 2 co-op gadgets, including offensive and defensive drones. Check out the trailer below for more details, and you guys can go to GameSpot's page to check that out. So yeah, so there he goes. And Ohio's inside the chat saying, "Let's go!" Yeah, man. So officially, Watch Dogs Legion co-op is in full effect. It sounds like there's a whole mode that's going on now with that. I'm still curious to see if the PS5 can be compatible with the PS4 because I very much would like to play the PS5 version. But if I had to settle and get the PS4 version, so that way we can play together, so be it. I'm down with the sickness. But does this news in general, this little update, do anything for anybody?
I've never played a Watch Dogs.
And I haven't played either of them either. I will say, like, I think, like, because I believe, like, we mentioned, like, we talked about some of the last updates that they had. Mm-hmm. It is a game that I am interested in giving a shot, but just for one reason or another, just haven't pulled that trigger yet. Even though it is something that really looks like a game that I could just get lost in for hours. It's just, for whatever reason, I just haven't pulled the trigger on that yet. But since you've played the game, like, what does it do for you? Like, does it entice you to like jump back in and like get it back on the PS5?
100%, yeah. Now here's the thing. So I played the first 2 Watch Dogs before. I played the first 2 Watch Dogs. The chat's going crazy. I played the first 2 Watch Dogs before I got picked up this one. So I did go ahead and play the first one. That one was really cool, especially when you first started it off. And then probably midway through, it starts kind of getting repetitive, and it's just like, all right, I've done this before, or whatever the case is. So at that point, if you're the person that likes to have a lot of variety, you're going to have that in the beginning, and then it's going to not be like that anymore halfway through, to where you're only going to want to play the story. Like, all the side stuff is just kind of, it's there if you want to keep playing in that world. The second one, I loved the variety that they had on there. I thought it was awesome that they introduced parkour. Like, it was awesome that they went ahead and did this. They switched up the character and everything like that. I know there's a huge race issue or whatever like that, having a black main cast. It is what it is, and the game was awesome. The thing that I didn't like about it was that the dialogue was too techy. It was too much inside that world to where if you didn't fully understand what they were saying, there's almost no connection to the characters. And that happened to me numerous amount of times. And then there's a time period where, like, I'm that type of person that, like, unless I am really, really in that game, I will play it for X amount of weeks, maybe even a month or so, and then I'll put it down, and then later down the road, and usually it's because I get distracted with a different game or something like that, but then later down the road, I'll come back to it, and I beat it because I want to make sure that I'm beating the majority of my games, if not all my games that I currently own, and especially if they're story mission based. So that was one of those games where I played it, I put it down for a very long while, I came back to it, and I beat it, and I didn't feel... It didn't feel like I actually beat the game. I let credits roll, but it was just like, okay, that was a very mediocre, possibly bad story. Gameplay was awesome. The story really wasn't all that. And on top of that, like getting inside that mindset that's still dead set, but it has nothing to do with Aiden, which is the main character in the first one. So that all was just like, all right, it is what it is. So, but this one is awesome because you can actually, like, you start off as, like, you kind of do some, like, 007 stuff at the very beginning through the tutorial portion of it. And then it was really cool because you can actually feel like you're in London. Like, I had to actually, like, purposely drive on the opposite side of the road because that's how it was designed. It wasn't just like a game overlay and just like, hey, this is London, beautiful graphics, and that was it. Like, you're actually driving on the other side of the road. You have people that have those strong accents. You have it to where if you turn permadeath on, which I know me and Ohio did, like, if one of your crewmates die, they are dead. They're gone for life. You cannot get them back. The only way you would be able to possibly get them back is if you had, like, a medic on scene to revive them if they got shot or whatever. And that's kind of it. Outside, yeah, like, it's, and you can recruit literally anybody. And you do have some of those algorithms that have the same backstory and everything like that. You have some of that runs in there. But I like the variety, and I like that you can control anybody, and you can have anybody be your main. If you want to have a group of grandmas, you could do that. If you wanted to have a group of medics, you could do that. If you wanted to have a group of police officers, you could do that. And literally you can recruit anybody, and that was cool. And so the online play is what I'm very curious to see how that's going to be like for this game. And I hope it's as immersive as it was in the second one. The first one has some online capabilities. It was more competitive than anything. Second one, there's a few more cooperative stuff that you can do, but it was still kind of more competitive. This one sounds like it's a good split. So I'm very curious to see what that's going to look like. And that's the end of my Watch Dogs Legion spiel.
Yeah, because like I said before, this is a game that I, for just whatever reason, have not pulled the trigger on. But it does look like something that you could get lost into, especially like if you can, like, you know, recruit anybody.
Yeah, literally anybody.
I like when you give me options in a game, I'm gonna do really dumb stuff with those options. Like, if you give me the option to have all grandmas, like, I'm gonna have a whole crew of grannies, like, to mess you up. Like, come on, grannies, let's go. Like, I'll help all of you cross the street one by one. We're gonna get there. Mm-hmm. Then we're just gonna go mess them up with your canes. Let's do it. Like, or like just whatever. Like, if you have, like, you can have a whole police force. Just be like, yeah, I have a whole police force, like, under my control. I have like the possibilities for that sound really great. I need to actually get it.
Mm-hmm. You're breaking out, by the way.
And start playing it and find the time to play it with everything else I had on. So, man, yeah, I figured. Well, hopefully what happened last week doesn't happen again. But anyway, yeah, that was that. Nineball, did you have anything else to add on to this one?
I really need to play them. I got both parts. I just ain't got the third part yet. I've had part 1 and 2 for God knows how long.
Anybody want a peanut? Just comment in. It says, "quote If you give me options, I'm gonna do really dumb stuff like all grandmas." Gravity Mark 2. Now he did say, I don't know if you guys heard it. He didn't say he'll do grandmas. He's saying if you want to recruit all.
I mean, if this is cyberpunk level of options, don't restrict me. Don't tell me what I can and can't do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was definitely one of those. What? Yeah, it was definitely
as well.
And I even said this. I even said this to Ohio when we both started the game. The way that Watch Dogs Legion started and how it plays and how it functions feels like how Cyberpunk was supposed to be. So, like, anybody during that time period, I obviously have a different tune now, but during that time period, if anyone was just like, hey, where do I go to buy Cyberpunk 2077? I'd be like, oh, well, what you want to do is you want to go to the PlayStation Store or Xbox Store, type in Watch Dogs Legion, and just buy it from there. like that's how I would kind of portray it, because that's how I felt like it should have played. The way that Cyberpunk played, minus the first-person view, which I'm not sure if you can do first-person in Watch Dogs Legion. I haven't tested it out. But the way that it played was just like, all right, almost everything in here as what I really want. Like, in Watch Dogs Legion is what I wanted in Cyberpunk, and I just didn't get it. So, but yeah.
Oh, Malachi, I did just want to throw this in here because this wasn't on the doc, but you and I have been playing a little bit more of Sword Art Online Integral Factor.
Yes, we
Mobile
did.
devices.
Yes, we did.
And we're still trying to figure out linking up in a party, how that works, how we can actually play together in certain dungeons, like whether or not we have to be like in the same like part of the story, or whether or not you have to get that part of the story first. But you've been, but like with this game, like you're saying that like this is more of something in terms of like mobile games that you haven't really experienced quite yet.
Mm-hmm.
So like in terms of how you feel about mobile games, I'm curious, like how does this game make you think about any sort of like this, like, you know, this mobile game, or like has this changed your idea or opinion on any other mobile games that are out there or that will come out?
100,000% it changed my tune on mobile games. But, all right, so anybody want a Peanut Axe? Is it a gacha like turn-based? It's actually not. And actually, I'm going to talk about that here in a second. I'm going to make it kind of quick because this actually kind of goes inside the First Soldier, which is story number 4, which is also a mobile game. But we're going to talk about that in a second. Right now, it's Sword Art Online. Anyone that knows me knows I absolutely love Sword Art Online, the anime. There's more of a personal reason for that, because the series itself, like if I were to go ahead and give like 10 different animes out there, Sword Art Online being one of them, Rise of the Shield Hero being another, Seven Deadly Sins, That Time I Got Reincarnated Slime. If I threw out all those out there and presented it to like 100 people that enjoy the casual or even hardcore animes, chances are Sword Art Online is not going to be in the top 3, top 4. I already know that. It's in mine, but again, that's more of a personal reason, which I won't bore you guys with today. But for Sword Art Online, though, one of the things that I wanted to try it out, so I went ahead and got Genshin Impact. I have had a few mobile games on my phone, and there's only been a couple that I actually dove into, including Pokemon Go. And there's also like this puzzle game that I just kind of do while I'm like literally just killing time, and that's the extent of my mobile gaming. Like outside of that, if I wanted to have more mobile game experiences, I'm just going to turn to my Switch or my PlayStation Vita or something like that. But as far as gaming on my phone, never really dove fully into it until now. Like, this game is awesome. One of the things I like about it is that there is customization. It's limited. Let's be real. It's limited. But there's still that sense of customization that's in there to where you can control this person. There's limited options that you can actually do too with how you want to respond to certain scenarios. It puts you inside the Sword Art Online world. And normally, it's by Bandai Namco, by the way. And normally, when you're doing this, anybody want a Peanuts asking for the title again? It is Sword Art Online Integral Factor, right?
So Sword Art Online Integral Factor.
Integral Factor, and it's spelled INTREGRAL, I believe. I might have missed.
I'm terrible at spelling.
Let me
so
look
if
it
you
up.
just give it if you just give it a shot, Google will be like, "Don't worry, I know what you meant."
Yeah,
I misspelled it when I typed it. They're just like, "Don't worry, Gravity, we've got you." No, you're terrible at spelling. We can't spell.
Integral. Yep, you found it.
We're just gonna give this to him.
Yeah, he found it. But yeah, it's one of those, and it's like literally like, I was expecting it to be kind of turn based, and it's not. And this is how it looks on the opening, right there. And it's not turn based. It's all actually like live action hacking and slashing, and yeah, it's really cool. And like, and the way that I like about it too as well is that as you're playing it, you're playing as a beta tester, so you're not Kirito like most of these sort of online games are. You're not Kirito. You are your own character on the side, and even later on, you can like for Fatal Bullet, you actually are your own character on the side. You're playing in the Fatal Bullet universe. That's cool. This one you're trapped in Aincrad, but not yet. Like you're actually a beta tester. You meet a girl named Kaharu that's out there. Ohio says, which game is this? This is the Sword Art Online Integral Factor that's on your phone, and it's a free download. But yeah, so you log out, you meet a girl named Kaharu. You actually run into Kirito at one point in the beta, and it's just real brief. You barely know who he is. He leaves, and then you log out for the day. Then you come back when the game launches, which is actually essentially when the series itself starts. Then you experience that whole Kaya bus saying, hey, you're locked into this world too. When you die, you die. Like you kind of, it's literally that whole spiel. Then you actually are going through the life of Sword Art Online as your own character, but you kind of notice Klein doing his thing. You notice Kirito going off and doing his thing and stuff like that. You're actually living it. So you're going through this whole series, which is really cool. We'll probably do some streaming about that later on, to be honest with you. But fast forwarding, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, and this is how I knew that I absolutely loved this mobile game. Because again, I'm not a mobile gamer by any means, but I loved this mobile game. There's a point where one of the main characters dies in like episode 2 of the actual series, Diavel, and in this one, he actually lives. Your main character comes up, protects him because of certain things about to pan out. Dude, it gets crazy. Like I actually don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to give too much away, but it gets crazy and it feels so good, and you actually feel like you're immersed in that world. You're having conversations with Asuna and you actually see how her attitude changed from the beginning of the series to where she's at now, if you know the anime. You know what I mean? You are having this relationship with Koharu. And I think that's going to be a romance thing that you can choose to take it that way if you want to. You actually meet Sachi. You meet they give more of these side characters relevance inside the game that you didn't get inside the story. It was just more of like hey, they're filler here. They're kind of petting out the story. No, you actually feel their emotions in this one, which is really cool. And one last thing that I thought was awesome. When you are done for the day, you're done. You had enough gameplay in there, everything like that. When you're about to log out, it doesn't say log out. It says return to title screen. So that let me know that the developers were really specific in how you wanted to exit the game, because in the game you can't log out. The log out button's gone. But if you really wanted to get critical, you're just like, all right, well, they can't log out, but bam, log out. Okay, I just did it, Kaya, but what you got me now? You know what I mean? It's nothing like that. Like, they actually took that log out feature away, and it says return to title for that reason. So Bandai Namco, you made me a believer, and now that makes me super excited for First Soldier, Final Fantasy VII Remake, or Final Fantasy VII First Soldier.
Because I wanted to, because I really wanted to mention that, just because, again, like, that was a really good suggestion that you had me download that game. I was very pleasantly surprised with it. I honestly, like, it's just right. It is like a full MMO where you do have other players, like, running around in the overworld that you can interact with
for free.
You have these for free, yeah, and that's the other thing. It's free. Now, is it very visually stunning? Not really. Like, does it look good enough? Yeah. It doesn't need to be anything spectacular. It doesn't need to have, like, 4K graphics. It doesn't need to, like, look super pretty. It's a free MMO that plays pretty well. It is live, like it is like live in the moment, hack and slash. Like, it actually, like, feels good. It makes sense. And one of my biggest complaints about mobile games in general with this type of platform, or this type of combat rather, is just controller support. Like, if you're going to be able to move around in a 3-dimensional world, then you're going to be able to, like, access, like, certain buttons to be able to perform certain commands and moves and spells and stuff. I want to do it on a controller. Like, I want to be comfy with it. I don't want my thumbs to get in the way. I don't want, like, to accidentally, like, tap on something else instead of, like, the actual button that I want, because I can't feel the difference between the buttons. Like, if you fix that and you get some controller support, for me it's an amazing game.
Yeah, this is more than just a sitting on the toilet getting rid of your passing the time type of game. Like, I'm in,
and I'm not gonna lie,
yeah.
Like, but when I was playing it for, like, maybe, like, the first hour or so, I was like, okay, like, this is, like, a lot of story. It's a lot of what I already know. Like, it seems okay. And then as soon as, like, you get, like, farther into it, and they're, like, kind of, like, taking you through this, like, the basics, like, all right, yeah, like, this is, like, the workshop. This is where you can, like, make stuff. Here's the blacksmith. This is where you can, like, upgrade your armor, your gear, your skills, your other abilities. Like, you can upgrade all that stuff, and then you have, like, a merchant you can sell stuff to and buy stuff. And, like, once you start to get into it, you're like, okay, like it's very easy to pick up on. It's really not that difficult to figure out. And then as soon as you start playing it, like I found myself playing it for several hours and like I sent you a screenshot. Like my character's at level 30, and I just really started playing it yesterday. Like it's really fun.
Yeah.
I know that you yourself, like I'm kind of a mobile person. At the very least, I was old school. Like I was very big in pretty much every generation of Game Boy. That was my jam. But I definitely wanted to like ask you if that game had really changed your perspective on mobile games in general, mainly because of again our next topic, which is Final Fantasy VII's first Soldier game. So another article from Jason Finelli from GameSpot. So fans are eager to play Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier are in luck, as Square Enix has announced a live stream for May 7th, focusing solely on the upcoming mobile battle royale game. We still can't believe that it's a real that in a real sentence. The live stream for Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier, called the quote Shinra EPC Private Security Force Operation, end quote, is set for May 7th at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 a.m. Eastern on Square Enix's Twitch channel. Japanese cast Taiga Kishi will host the event. With producer Soichi Ichikawa and creative director of Final Fantasy VII Tetsuya Nomura also scheduled to appear. Ooh, that's really nice.
Oh, that's making me super excited, guys.
The stream will be spoken in Japanese with English commentary over it, according to the official Twitter announcement. Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier was first announced in February as part of a trio of Final Fantasy VII related announcements, joining fellow mobile game Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis and Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate for the PlayStation 5. Soldier, set 30 years before the events of Final Fantasy VII, will feature battle royale gameplay with a multiplayer twist, adding spells and summon materia to the mix. So, you again, like they said, Final Fantasy VII battle royale game. The idea of that sounds nuts, but I already know you're excited, Malachi. Nineball, please tell me what you are thinking right now. Like, what does this news do for you?
Real quick, want to throw out there. Silent inside the chat says Bamco also did all the Souls games, as well as it helps out with a lot of the Koei Tecmo Warriors games. And then Illis Be Live also says, and Tails. And then Silent literally just quoted me, saying, "Sing on the toilet, getting rid of your passing the time." And one last thing, I do want to have a full disclaimer on here because I know how you are about certain these anime type games, Ohio. There is dialogue. It's not English dialogue, so there is some reading that you have to do. It's not as lengthy as you would expect it, especially the side stuff. Like it's very quick. But the actual meat of the story itself is stuff that you have to read, and they kind of do dive it a little bit into it. But it's very interesting and it's very fun. And like I said, man, I'm all for it.
I've skipped over certain parts. I'm not gonna lie, especially like right near the beginning, especially where it's like, oh, like it's pretty much just retelling the story we already know. I was just like, I don't really feel like reading all of this. I will say, if you're going to use the skip feature, be careful because sometimes it skips a little too much, where like it skips all the way through and then it starts another cutscene and then it just skips all that and then it starts another cutscene and it skips all of that. And so it's like, on one hand, you're like, oh god, like I would have had to read all of that. Oh no, like I don't like to read a whole lot, but at the same time, it's like you just kind of have to like just decide like whether or not that dialogue is important enough for you to read. I will say, especially when you get closer to like the boss of the first floor, you're definitely going to want to read that. But again, I just want to throw this over to Nineball real quick. What does this news do for you? What does this news do for you as a mobile game, as a game in general? I'm curious. What is your opinion on it? Need opinions.
I never really played a lot of mobile games. Like I do basically a lot of puzzle and card games. Like I think I used to do Hearthstone, Yu-Gi-Oh, The Room, stuff like that. More puzzle card games normally. Just stuff to kill time while you're in a car driving around or something. I don't really know what it does right now. I'm not. I want to see it before I say anything on it.
Did you not take a look at the trailer?
Not really. No, I have not.
Oh,
yeah, you should definitely check it out. Yeah, you should definitely check it out.
You need to see the trailer.
Go and look at the trailer.
Go watch the trailer, because I've got to say,
just come back to me.
Okay.
So we'll have you watch the trailer. We'll come back to you. But in terms of what we've seen so far, there are definitely times, at the very least, like the only complaint that I could possibly have just looking at the trailer would really be the frame rates. That's just because it's a mobile game. You would really need a strong connection to a network to really be able to get the best sort of connection, especially if it's a battle royale. So that's the only possible, complaint that I could see, is just, definitely some lag and, definitely drop frame rates depending on what your connection to the internet's like, because it is your phone. Like on one hand, it's nice to be able to play it wherever you like, but not everywhere has the greatest internet connection. And we've seen that from a lot of stuff, like stuff on Game Pass for your Xbox on your mobile device, not always great. Stuff on Stadia on your phone, not always great. So with games like this, there really are pros and cons to it. But I already know you're excited. Again, what does this news do for you? With your level of interest with mobile games right now, where's your level of interest with this game? Does it change your expectations of what this game can do?
It does. It does to a point, and I say that on two occasions. One, it has two things on it that I just really wasn't a huge fan about. And that's one is that I like battle royales, but we have a lot of them. We do have a lot of them. Sometimes I'm in the mood for one type of battle royale over the other. Like just the other week, we were playing Spellbreak, and I've been enjoying that. For this time period, I've been enjoying that. But then 2 weeks ago, I might be in the mood for some Apex. And then 3 weeks ago, I might be in the mood for some Call of Duty Warzone or something. You know what I mean? So
you're gonna say, you better not say Fortnite.
Yeah, no, I haven't been in the mood for Fortnite in a very, very long time. But
there's sharks now.
Yeah, I don't even care. I mean, if Marvel's not going to get me in there and Power Rangers not going to get me in there, I'm not coming back to Fortnite for fact.
I'll play with the kids still.
So with that being said, as a Final Fantasy VII Battle Royale, I already was iffy about it. As much as a Final Fantasy fan I am, I was iffy about that. And I also didn't like the term Battle Royale. And then on top of that, it's a mobile game, which before literally 2 days ago, which is when I started playing the game, before 2 days ago, I was just not really thrilled about it. I was like, all right, I mean, that's cool for people that enjoy mobile types of games and stuff. And anything that will be even close to a mobile game, if it's on a Switch or a Vita, that's what I would get it on instead. If it's just strictly on mobile, I'm wasting my time with it. But now playing this and seeing that gameplay before and everything like that, still nothing absolutely breathtaking or amazing, but it does have me interested to see how this is going to pan out and how different it's going to be from the other battle royales that's out there. I kind of feel like they just threw out there, just being like, hey, we're going to get inside the battle royale element, but it's also cross-promoting Final Fantasy VII as well, because that's kind of what it's doing. But yeah, we'll just kind of have to see. LSB Labs, I hope it's better than Dissidia. I actually liked the Dissidias up until...
I like the first one.
I like the first one. I like the second one even. The third one has an interesting concept. I love the graphics. I actually like the story of the third one that was going through. But the issue that I had was that had the expectation that when you go through the arcade portion of that you can at least have 2 other people with you, because you have 3 people out there. Mm-hmm. But then you go ahead and go inside of it, and the only thing you can do is just have NPCs. You can't have your buddies out there now, it's up, which I was looking forward to. Then I was looking forward to online fighting, and they did have the crystals, which was cool. They literally had the crystals, that was cool. They had the one where there's 2 game modes, but that was all that they had. And I was like, all right, I wish they did this a little differently. So the gameplay was fun. It was awesome. Oh, I can't say awesome, but it was fun. It was cool. It was different. And I do enjoy that. But they could have done so much more with it on the third one, and it just fell short. So that was my thing. Yeah, I agree. Literally, Silent just said, hot take. Dissidia would be great for some other game. I literally just said that. So you read my mind. You're up in here. You're up in here. I wish they had more game modes in there versus what they just had. So, yeah. I wish the one they released on PlayStation was more like yeah. I agree. I think it should have been more, because it kind of was to a point, and I do like that they did include the 3v3 aspect, but I do wish that you could have done a 2v2, a 1v1, a 1v3, because that's actually that boss fight against Ramu is technically a 1v3. There's Ramu, and then there's three of you guys trying to take out Ramu, who is hard as crap, by the way. I could not get past him. But and then the only ways to kind of elevate your level is by keep on doing like the bot fights and everything, and yeah, and that was the part that was just kind of like you couldn't even improve your level with the PvP stuff. So they just could have done that. Yeah, they could have done that a lot better. Character designs are cool. Concept is cool. The game as a whole is very mediocre at best at launch, which is saying something. So, but going back to your question as far as First Soldier, I am more excited than I was before. Still have my reservations about it, but we'll have to see. Again, I think that they just kind of threw something out there, so it depends on how much love and care Square Enix is going to put inside this project. Was it something that they were really trying to do, or was it something that was just like, hey, we have Battle Royale 2. If you never played any of the Final Fantasies, but you like Battle Royale games, you go ahead and get into this. You introduce the characters. You might actually think that they're cool. Go ahead and pick up Final Fantasy VII Remake, because that's what they're all about right now. It's Final Fantasy VII Remake and 16. Those are pretty much the two biggest IPs. Right now. Right now, I should say.
Paul, did you watch the trailer for it?
Yeah, I watched the trailer.
What are your thoughts over there?
It looks nice. I don't know if it's gonna make it. It's still got that big question mark.
I love it. I love the honesty.
I mean, it's coming in a huge still battle royale market, and I don't know. Like, I was hoping that they would go maybe towards more melee or something in there than a lot of the guns and stuff.
Well, they kind of did. You have your options.
They do have an option.
I do like the assist feature, that where you can assist people, like they do the wind spell and then one guy jumped up on the roof.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
And it being on phone, you're probably gonna. I mean, like you said, depending on your strength and where your location is, like if you're going long distance, like sometimes we go out of town and stuff, and you can easily lose a signal out there. Think about it. Second place, phone drops, you lose your signal.
That would be terrible. That would be terrible. Like, oh, I got you now, Ifrit. Phone dies.
It is interesting because, like, I will say, the last time that I actually played a battle royale game like semi-regularly is actually when Fortnite had the Star Wars stuff going on, where they had the lightsabers included.
I remember that.
And, yeah, like that was like the last time I actually was like enjoying a battle royale, mainly because I play more games where I hack and slash. That's just me. I play a lot of hack and slash where like I like to get up close and just do really cool like sword combos to people, and it's like I can use guns. It's just that I'm not good at it. And so for me, like one of my biggest issues with battle royale games is just the fact that they're just centered around guns. Like I'm just not a good gunner, and frankly, I just don't want to hear get good anymore. It's frustrating. I'm like, I don't. It's like, you know what? Like I'd rather just not play. Like I'll try, but like I'm just like if I do jump into a battle royale, like if I jump into Apex, I'm jumping in with like, okay, I'll play, but you're gonna have to carry me. Like my legs aren't gonna work. I'm gonna fumble. I'm gonna drop my gun. Like what? Oop, what? Like, so I do like the fact that they are implementing spells. I like that they're implementing like up close melee combat with the sword, and I like that like I'm hoping that they have kind of like an equal balance among like guns, magic, and like up close combat. just so that way there can be an equal balance where it's like it's not too like centered on guns, or it's not too centered on one thing or another, because like at that point you're giving people the choice to play the way that they want to play. And I think that is kind of what the battle royale industry is kind of missing. I feel like it's just too saturated in like first person shooters, and I think it needs to like change a little bit. I think they need to like just do something different. I'm hoping one more thing here. I'm hoping that like the mobile launch is just a test. If the test goes well, they'll bring it to PC. And then they'll bring it to console.
I'm in that same vein with you too as well. And I got a comment to read that's in the chat, and I have an update to give you guys as our fantasy gaming league goes right now. The comment is, I think Elizabeth Live is talking about Knockout City. He says, then you need to get into that dodgeball battle royale game, then Gravity. I think that's the Knockout City game he's talking about.
Dodgeball.
Yeah, it's human. Well, not human, but you can actually have a human turn into a dodgeball, like into a ball, and you can be used as a weapon. And if it's the same game, I'm thinking of, he's talking about Knockout City. And that's actually, I think that's going to be a day and date thing on Game Pass. I know it's coming to PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Yeah, it's coming to PlayStation. Yeah, he says yes, sir. So yeah, Knockout City is what we're talking about. And I don't know how many players it is. I think it's 3v3 or 5v5, maybe even 6v6. So it's not really. I have to see all the modes because I don't think it's a battle royale. I think it's a team deathmatch type. But there might be a battle royale feature in there.
It's getting crossplay at launch.
It's crossplay at launch, so I'm kind of curious.
PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Yeah. And then the thing I do want to point out here, again, Fantasy Gaming League, for anyone that does not know, we have a Fantasy Critic Gaming League that's on here, and it literally is exactly how it sounds. It's fantasy football, but for video games. The threshold is 70 points. Anything that scores above 70 points on the Metacritic earns said player points. Anything below loses them points. Anything that's right at 70 does not do any negative or positives for it. There's also counter picks in there to where if your opponent counter picks a game that you own, then not only do you lose those points if it does bad, but your opponent gains those points. We also have it in there to where if you are counter picked that game, you cannot drop it. So you better hope that game comes out because I'm over here sweating. But anyway, we got ALWT Gaming, which is represented by me. I have on my list Horizon Forbidden West, Deathloop, Halo Infinite, Final Fantasy 16, Far Cry 6, Solar Ash, Dying Light 2, Call of Duty 2021, and I have a counter pick of God of War Ragnarok, which is on Ohio's list. Zaka TV got some stuff today, and he has some more stuff coming out at the end of this week. He has Resident Evil Village, which comes out at the end of this week. He has Returnal, who got him 16 points. He got an 86 on Metacritic. He has a Warhammer 40k Dark Tide. He has The Medium, which got him 5 points. He has Ruined King, a League of Legends story. He has Oddworld Soulstorm, which got him 1 point. He has Guilty Gear Strive, Mario Kart Super Rush, and he has a counter pick from Silent, which is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. He had then in first place right now. By the way, Zaka TV, aka It's a 9 Ball, is at third place. So in first place right now is Mildewy Carrot still. He has Monster Hunter Rise, which got him 18 points. He has Ken Bridge of Spirits. He has Ghostwire Tokyo. He has Shin Megami Tensei 5. He has Psychonauts 2. He has 12 Minutes. He has It Takes Two, which also got him 18 points. He has Stray. He has Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, which is a counter pick from Ellis.B. Live's list. Then you have Fantasy Football by Silent. He has Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. He has Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. That's coming out next month. He has Hollow Knight Silk Song. He has Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. He has new Pokemon Snap, which got him 11 points. Not bad. He has Axiom Verge 2. He has Pokemon Brilliance Diamond and Shining Pearl. And he has a counter pick of Back 4 Blood, which is on Ohio's list as well. That got him inside fourth place right there for Fantasy Football, getting his first set of points. Then you got Ellis.B. Live, which is sitting in second place with Bravely Default 2. He has Near Replicant version 1 point and a lot of numbers, which got him 13 points. He has Little Nightmares 2, which got him also 13 points. He has Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. He has Dark Pictures Anthology House of Ashes. He has Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin. He has Tales of Arise. He has an open spot still, so he has a game that he can still pick up. And he counterpicked his Final Fantasy brethren, Final Fantasy 16, which is on my list, as I mentioned earlier. And lastly, but surely not leastly, sitting in 5th place right now, Ohio has God of War Ragnarok, Back for Blood, Humankind, Evil Genius 2, World Domination, which got him 7 points. He has Dungeons and Dragons, Dark Alliance. He's patiently waiting as he has 3 open spots that he can pick up certain games with. And he has a counter pick of Halo Infinite, which is also on my list. So there you guys have it. So one last time, Emil Dewey Carrots in 1st place with 36 points. 2nd place is LSB Live with 33 points. 3rd place is Zaka TV with 21 points. 4th place is Fantasy Football with 11 points. Ohio is 7th place, and I am unranked as nothing from me came out yet.
Hey, you're just trying to play the long game, aren't you?
I am. I'm trying to play it. Play the long game.
You're just you're just making that real deep pass. You're just like, I'm just gonna make it. Just hope it works out.
Yeah, and there's a game that, I'm probably ruining my chances here if anyone's planning on getting it. I know it's still unconfirmed as far as when it's releasing, but there's a game that's out here that, Lost Soul aside, that's some people are anticipating that's dropping this year, and because I guess apparently it's supposed to drop last year, but it didn't because of COVID. But that game looks absolutely stunning. And a lot of people are already calling it Game of the Year if it drops this year. So we'll see. We'll see. LSB Live says
for Cyberpunk.
They did. LSB Live says 9-ball is getting first. But here's the thing. Here's the difference between Cyberpunk and that one. Lost Soul aside is I think that was an independent developer that is underneath that Chinese project that Sony's doing. And it was like trying to have these... That one game, Black Myth, is underneath that Chinese project as well. And they're trying to like really, really shine light on those people that make really stunning games and have really good artwork and everything like that. And they're trying to bring them to the forefront. And it looks like that those are games that Sony is investing in. And we're going to see how they kind of go in the next couple years or so. So if this game does... I have a feeling that if this game truly does launch... it probably is going to do amazing because it was heavily inspired by Final Fantasy 15. And as far as like how the combat goes and everything with all the warping and stuff, take a look at the trailer. It looks absolutely stunning. Absolutely amazing. But yeah, you guys are on for story number 5.
We have to.
I guess we're doing story number 5. Well, apparently with this title, Stadia. Eddie McCook, I'm sorry, I probably butchered your last name, Eddie. My apologies. Big E over here from GameSpot said, I
think it's
writing up an article. Go,
Macic.
See, I can't.
I think it's Eddie Macic.
Okay, Eddie Macic. Again, sorry if I mispronounced your name, Big E. Google Stadia's head of production has left the company. Ooh, juicy. John Justice, who was also a vice president at Google, is no longer working with the technology giants. He joined Google in 2019 and worked on the Stadia team, where he oversaw the customer experience. A spokesperson for Google confirmed his departure. It's 9 to 5 Google. And, quote, "We can confirm John is no longer with Google, and we wish him well on his next step," the company said. There is no word yet, however, on what Justice may do next. So he was in charge of Stadia's customer experience. Wonder why he left. Was he just like, get this. Just screw it. I'm done. I can't do it. I can't figure it out.
I did my best.
I tried.
That dang cook.
Did anybody ever see in chat? Did anybody ever see Weekend at Bernie's?
Yeah.
That's Stadia right there.
I got no comment on Stadia, so if you guys want to skip me for this story, you guys are welcome to, because I got no comment. It's just there. Just let you guys know where it's at.
I've tried out Stadia before. I tried it for like a month. It was I really didn't even use it much for that month. Like it was okay. Like as a service, I thought that it has a lot of potential. I think especially once different communication networks start switching to 5G, we can actually have better communications, like stronger connections wirelessly, especially from our mobile devices, and just like being able to just provide more service to just people in other parts of the world where connections just really aren't that good. It has a lot of potential. It's just that they're like 5 years too early. I'd say like 5-10 years way too early, and it's just like sorry to see you go. Like I hope he's moving on to something bigger and better. Maybe you know what? Maybe he's going to Microsoft to work on Game Pass. Maybe he's going over there to work.
Never know.
He's just like, no, I'm done with it. He's like, nope, it can't be done.
I feel like he was like that guy in Alcatraz that just dug out of there with a spoon or something.
They just kept him locked up in a dungeon, Saw style. Just figure it out. What do our customers want to experience? What kind of like interface do they want? What colors? Orange. Let's do it.
See, oh, you better figure it out now before we chuck you again.
Figure this out. Do you know how much money we've spent on advertising? You know how many times these people just hear the Stadia ads all the freaking time? It was too many. It was too many. I wasn't gonna do it. My other big issue with Stadia was just that the titles just weren't enough titles. Like they had a few good titles, but if you noticed, they always would push like the deluxe version of them. So like they had like I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and so like they had like the base game for like $60 or so, but then they also had like the deluxe one that was like $80 or $90, and then they had like a super deluxe one that was like $120. And more often than not, they're like Assassin's Creed Odyssey Deluxe Edition, and like you would see them push the more deluxe versions as opposed to the base versions. Which again, get it. It's very early on for Stadia. They have to turn a profit, so they're probably going to want to push the more expensive games to try to make that money back. But to me, I just kind of saw that, and I was just like, I don't like that. Like being recommended more expensive products and having to go out of my way to look for the product that I actually would prefer. Maybe just put up the base product and then say, hey, here's the base product. And then you know what? If you want, we also have a deluxe version. If you want that, cool. We also have a super deluxe, like basically like what PlayStation does. Like here's the base game, and as soon as you go into the base game, they give you the options for the upgraded versions. It was just a little too. Like I could just kind of see the desperation, honestly. It was just kind of, it kind of made me sad. I was like, oh, you need money, don't you?
Just throw it in the water
But your Google.
Titanic.
Just
Google.
put it
right next to the Titanic. Just bury it. Just throw it in the river. Remember that diamond at the end of that Titanic movie? That was Stadia right there. You threw that necklace into the sea.
Are you saying Jack needs to be Stadia needs to be Jack? Just let go.
Just let go.
Just let go.
Let
the icy depths take a hold of you. Malachi, you have any thoughts on this?
I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, just I threw it in there because it was an update, and we have someone that's leaving, and it's just I got nothing.
I hope he moves on to something bigger and better, or maybe he's just retiring. I don't know how old he is. I don't know if he wants to retire yet, but he worked for Google, so he probably made plenty of money doing it.
Yeah.
He worked for Stadia.
I'm curious.
Force him to retire.
I'm curious to see what this is going to mean for Stadia. Like, I'm sure they're going to keep chugging along. I'm sure they're going to keep trying to do more things, which, you know what, good for them. Like, at least try. Like, but I appreciate the effort, but they need more titles, and we just need better connectivity. Like, I'd honestly rather them just like stick Stadia on ice for a bit, and then maybe just pick it up later.
Did you see that UFC fight? The UFC fight where the man broke his leg.
Oh,
you're saying that that's Stadia. I mean,
shoot,
there's
what
a
was
couple
his
of them, but you're gonna say that that's Stadia. I knew it.
Pretty much
I knew it.
Stadia
What was his
right
name?
there.
There's a couple of them. There's a couple of
Yeah,
those.
they just need to, wave it. It's over. It's over. They just need to do that to Stadia. I mean, there's nothing left to Stadia here. He's still
I
trying
mean, no,
to crawl.
Stadia at this point.
He says Chris
Stadia at
Weidman.
this point is that.
Yeah, Chris Weidman, yeah.
Yeah.
Stadia at this point is like that knight from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. There's like, "'Tis but a flesh wound."
Yeah.
Oh, losing one of our head people? No, it's just tis but a flesh wound. It will heal up. We got one more story here to round out the evening here. Oh man, another one for Big E. Our man coming in clutch with all the articles today. Man, how many articles is he writing?
He's one of the mains over there at GameSpot. One of the mains.
Big E, Ed E. We got one more over here. It's an Outriders update. Hear what they have to say this time. Last time I talked about Outriders, it's like oh, what is it, Beetlejuice? You say it 3 times in the mirror, and all of a sudden everything just screws up. I'm afraid if I say Outriders one more time, like my computer's just gonna crash again.
More like Candy, man. You say it 5 times, it just crashes again.
Like surprise. Anyway, Big E over from GameSpot. The biggest patch to date for Outriders is now available, fixing a very long list of bugs that players have reported since launch. This patch does not, however, implement the long-awaited inventory restoration. Restoration process for inventory wipe issue was planned to release already, but it still needs more work from developer People Can Fly. Some, quote, edge cases recently came up, and this required the studio to reset the process, quote, several times over. As work continues on this restoration patch, People Can Fly separately worked on a general patch that is available now. The April 30th patch for Outriders fixes a number of crash scenarios and addresses numerous other issues and bugs, including a problem that could cause the game to get stuck on the sign-in screen. Oh, Jesus. This game. The update also makes changes to weapon balance with AI snipers, now giving players more time to dodge their shots. Additionally, the amount of knockback from creatures in the Stargrave expedition has been reduced. So, as the resident person within ALWT who has been screwed over by Outriders, just first and foremost, thank you to the developers for doing your best. Because you know what, just like at the very least, like looking at like the response time that they've taken compared to like CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk, like CD Projekt Red, like they got around to it. But I feel like this, like with Outriders, this is more of a rapid response, and I like that. And at the very least, hearing that they've had to restart the process for trying to get players who've had their stuff wiped several times, that's got to be frustrating. Like anyone who has worked on any sort of project for work, and then just being told, you know what, this is good, but no, we need to like do it over again. And then you do it over again, and they're like, hey, we need you to do this over again. That's frustrating. So at this point, I'm not gonna lie, I already started another character. So at this point, you can keep the stuff. I don't need it. Like, and at this point, I almost feel bad saying it, but like, if your stuff was wiped, sorry, it's gone. Like at this point, like if they give it back to you, that's cool, that's great. But by the time they figure this out, you could start another character and probably get better stuff. At this point, like by the time they're like, hey, look, we got your level 6 stuff back. Cool. Like I'm already at level 80 over here. Like I don't need it anymore.
Ocean next to Stadia.
I mean, what does this news do for you guys? Just in terms of this update.
Well, for me, I definitely so I didn't realize that my issue the stalling issue, like at the startup screen, I didn't realize that was a full issue. That is something that I actually have experienced myself a couple times, where I would try to log into the game and it would just sit there. It would just kind of sit there. So yeah, I haven't had any inventory issue with, luckily. And again, this is me on the PS5. We had Ohio that was playing with us on the PS4, and then Gravity was on the Xbox Series S is when he was having his issues on. But I know that issue, the inventory issue, is something that's across. Well, it sounds like it's across all the boards, at least with PlayStation and Xbox. I'm not sure how it is on PC. I'm assuming the same way, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, like, of course, like, I like the transparency. I definitely think that this game definitely has more stuff that they need to do to clean up and try to make it more of a function that can bring people back to it even more. But I think that you just had your time wasted thinking it was your internet. Good game. Yeah, no. Ultimately, I think it's a good game. I think it really is a fun game. But I think that right now, a lot of people had their moment with it. They're like, oh, "This is awesome. This is fun." And now it's just like one of those, like, "Hey, we'll wait until the next DLC come out or the next update or something like that." So, yeah, I think once they've resolved these bugs that are pretty detrimental to your gameplay, I think once they resolve that, then at that point maybe some people will actually come back. But the longer they wait, the longer it's going to have people just kind of be like, "Oh, that's cool. That's happening over there. They fix that," and then they're like, "But we're over here playing Ratchet and Clank. We're over here playing Halo Infinite. We're over here playing Pokemon Snap." You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that, of course, the sooner that they're able to resolve all of these issues in its entirety, the better. But right now, only time will tell, because I don't know if the fan base is going to still be around as heavily as it was at launch when it was on Game Pass and PS4 and PS5 and Xbox One and all that good stuff.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it has a lot of potential. The game has a lot of potential, and because it doesn't have any sort of microtransactions in it, it does kind of like limit the shelf life of this game to an extent. You know, because they can keep coming up with patches and updates and getting more content in there. And I hope that they do that. If anything, that would be the best option to extend the shelf life. Or at the very least, like, I'd be okay with like buying like an expansion DLC down the line if it's big enough. Like, if it has enough content to warrant me to actually go back and playing it. But as fun as the game was, like those like crashes like were not fun to experience. Like, I got kicked out of the party so many times that like there were times where like you guys ended up having to just stop the mission altogether, back out just to like get me back in. I felt bad at that point because I'm like, man, like I don't want to be the guy who's like holding everyone up, where it's like just going into a dungeon, like it's like oh, Gravity DC'd. Like, it's like, all right, well, let's get back out, then let's send him an invite, and then let's get him back in, and let's go back in. It's just, and for it to happen like back to back to back to back, like within one sitting, was not a great experience. And again, I started a new player, like I got a little further than I did the first time, and it's fine, but I still haven't really touched it since then. So almost at this point, like kind of, at the very least, as somebody who hasn't really spent money to actually buy the game and has been playing it on Game Pass, you know, I'd have to kind of see what these updates do and how well they fix everything, because if it fixes everything to a point where it's a lot better to play, I might consider jumping back in and playing it. But as of right now, I'm just kind of like, I'll have to see.
I heard that. What about you, Ohio? I mean, Ohio. What about you then, Nine? But Ohio was the other one that was playing with us. So, but I know you haven't picked up the game, right?
No, so I'm kind of glad I didn't, because what I'm hearing, I mean, I will probably go into that a bit later, but I think this is more of an ongoing issue with newer games. Sometimes they come out lately with them being rushed out, but that, I mean, based on time, I'm not going to really rant or rave into that, because that'll go on for a while. As for the thing itself, I'm just proud. I'm kind of glad I didn't get it because of these ongoing issues. And it would suck to have your character, like, if you had like a high level character that maybe 70, 80, and well, he's gone.
That would suck.
Makes you want to yeah, makes you want to quit the game.
Not pick it back up again.
Yeah.
Real fast before you wrap up the show there, Gravity. I didn't put this on the doc, but I have reminders of the free games that's out for PlayStation and Xbox this month.
Please do. Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to do it right now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, perfect.
And
Okay.
unless there was anything else we wanted to talk about with Outriders, I feel like I've said my piece.
Okay.
Taken all my stuff.
So what we have here for PlayStation, for PlayStation, this month's PlayStation on PS5, you can get Wreckfest. That's a free download right now, so you can add it to your library if you're not ready to fully download it right now. But it's Wreckfest. But on the PS4, you have Battlefield 5 and Stranded Deep. So both of those are out. A quick little overview of Battlefield 5. Immerse yourself in a one-of-a-kind portrayal of the World War II and fight in epic locations across the globe in Battlefield 5. Featuring 64-player multiplayer, battle royale, and single-player experiences, Battlefield 5 features the largest battlefield map in the franchise's history. Stranded Deep. So Stranded Deep is survive the treacherous elements and dangerous creatures of the Pacific Ocean in Stranded Deep, in an open-world adventure that finds you alone without any means to call for help following a mysterious plane crash. And then lastly, Wreckfast, which is Drive Hard, Die Last. That's actually a dope slogan. Enjoy epic crashes and neck fights to the finish line with in the Wreckfest. A full contact racing game that features a true to life physics simulation crafted by developer Bugbear. So that's what you can get on your PlayStation. Again, that is Wreckfest, Drive Hard, Die Last, Battlefield 5, and Stranded Deep. On the Xbox side, they don't have the description. Oh, no, they do. Okay, so there's two games one game that you can get from April 1st until April 30th, so all month. And that's Vikings. The second game that you can pick up is Truck Racing, which you can pick up starting April 16th through May 15th. On 360 side, you have Dark Void, which is April 1st to the 15th that you can pick it up. And then you also have Hardcore Uprising, and that's April 16th through the 30th. And that says games with gold with $129 in value and 3,200 in gamer score. I don't know what the gamer score portion means, but
It's basically like trophies.
okay. Well, yeah.
You get like achievement points.
Oh, okay. I was about to say I know what achievements are, but I didn't know what the gamer score itself technically is.
You get they'll give you an achievement, then they'll tell you how many points it was worth, stuff like that.
Okay. And I'll read those descriptions real quickly as we are going over. So I'm going to go and read that real fast. Vikings, Wolves of Midgard. So journey to the shores of Midgard, a world based in mythology with a fantasy twist. Join a notorious band of Viking warriors and take up the fight against the fearsome Jotun and the beasts of Ragnarok. Master mighty weapons including sword and shield, two-handed hammers, axes, bows, and vanquish the fiendish creatures of Fimbulwinter, which threatens to end all life. We have Truck Racing Championship. So take the wheel behind giant 5-ton, 1,000 horsepower semi-trucks in a completely new racing experience featuring all unique challenges of the European Truck Racing Championship. Drive over 45 different vehicles in 14 worldwide circuits. Consider the weight of the truck when cornering, monitor tire wear, and find the best tactics to win the race. Dark Void. Step into the void with a sinister parallel world full of hostile aliens and deep mystery. Dark Void showcases powerful weapons where a combination of ground-based combat and jetpack-powered dogfights bring a thrilling dynamic. Experience a seamless transition between fight and fight in this epic adventure. And lastly, Hardcore Uprising. Core spelled CORPS. Play the retro run and gun action title Hardcore Uprising. Write your own legends in the grueling text trenches of the arcade mode, or upgrade and build your soldier in rising mode, where only the best of the best can survive and achieve ultimate victory. And that is it.
Oh,
My
okay.
gosh. A lot of new games, a lot of free games coming out. I will say, I think I bought Stranded Deep like when it came out for like $20.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like I don't honestly like the game's that, in my opinion, is kind of worth $20. But this is one of those moments where I'm just like, I already bought the game. I'm upset. It's like now you're like it's cool that you're giving it out for free. I always like to hear that, but I'm just kind of like, it's just wrapping some things up. Just going over some of our news, or not really news. Some of our segments coming up this week. Who is it? I'm terrible at my memory.
You give it.
All day anime.
I'm having just one of those days.
Well, we got
all day anime.
We got Smite Night on
first-
Thursday. Yeah, we got Smite
Yeah.
Night on Thursday, and I know we're still kind of pending right now. And by the way, Smite Night on Thursday is at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until 10 p.m. typically. It's been pissing us off, but we still do it because we enjoy the pain. Not really. I'm just speaking for myself.
I don't enjoy the pain.
I know it's going to be kind of up in the air if we're going to be reacting to the first Soldier event that's happening this Friday. So that's going to be up in the air. We're going to talk about that, but we'll keep you guys posted on social media platforms such as Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and everything else that you can find us at ALWT Gaming. And then Saturday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, me and Gravity Mark over here are going to be talking about all-day anime as it is no longer on Sunday. So 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to give you guys some anime updates. And then bring us all the way to our Sin segment, which I don't think's been happening because Mildewy Carrot has been under the weather. So if he's feeling better and if he feels like streaming, you guys are going to see a Sin segment, which is Strength in Numbers, this coming Monday. Be on the lookout for his channel for that at www.twitch.tv/Mildewy Carrot. That's MILDWY Carrot CARROT. And if you have missed that, or if he doesn't stream, you guys can always come chill back with us again next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, until typically 7:30. Today, we're going closer to 8 because we're having such good time, having good conversations. Back to you, Gravity.
Gentlemen, just wanted to get this part out there. As you know, we got to shout out our social medias. We gotta give them a little bit more love. As he said, you can kind of check us out here on Twitch at www. I'll do it. I'll do what Malachi does all the time. www.twitch.tv/ALWT Gaming. And then you can also check us out on our Patreon. If you want to see more of this, feel free to maybe send us $1 or something. That'd be kind of nice. Might be able to actually get a little bit more, maybe get some more segments in there, maybe get some longer segments in there. So if you feel like you have $1 burning a hole in your pocket, we wouldn't say no to that, but no pressure. Also check us out at Facebook at ALWT Gaming, Instagram also at ALWT Gaming, Twitter which is at @we_at_least, and then you can also send us an email. We're old school like that. I mean, I guess email's not really that old school, but we're business people. We're professionals. So go ahead and send us an email at leastwetried.gaming@gmail.com. Seriously, we'd love to hear from you guys. If you have any suggestions on maybe different topics you guys want to hear, maybe there's a game you guys want us to play on one of our 9 to 5 segments, please send it our way. We would love to interact with you guys a little bit more. We would love to try to do some stuff that you guys want to see. And of course, you can check us out at www.youtube.com/channel/ all the other good stuff. So where it's YouTube. There's a search bar. Check us out.
It's just in the easy way.
Just check it. Just check it out.
Yeah.
I'm terrible with this stuff, so thank you for being patient with me today. Gentlemen, your last thoughts.
No, not really. I mean, you said it all. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday is going to be our 9 to 5 segment where we play games from 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 5 p.m. Well, actually, really 4:30 because then we stop at 4:30 and discuss for about half an hour what we just played, our likes, our dislikes, the pros, the cons, the whole nine. And we have a little special game that's going to be out there for that. Still got to see how that's going to be because as of right now, I know it's pending for the 9-ball. Gravity is going to be a part-timer that day. And mildewy carrot, like I said, still under the weather. We gotta see if he's gonna be feeling better or up for it during that time period, and we'll have to kind of see there. And also just something as you're reading the doc, it realized to me that I need to update this because Twitter is actually now ALWT Gaming. It's no longer at we_lease.
Makes sense now.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense. Forget what I said. That was dumb.
No, you're fine. That's my fault. I didn't update it.
Fixed it.
We definitely fixed it for sure. But I didn't update it on the doc, which is something I'll have to do. So, ALWT Gaming, practically everything. And then, of course, make sure you guys are getting your raised energy from Rep Sports or EPPsports.com. Type in ALWT Gaming at checkout. Do yourself a favor, get 50% off. But that's all I got to say. I'm just ready to go play some more Sword Art Online Integral Factor.
Ball, any words of wisdom to leave us off with?
No, really ain't got much. Like I said before, just watch out for the COVID and all that. So, outside of that, nope.
All right. Well, check us out next time. But until then, gentlemen, Control Alt.
Complete, baby!
Peace.